All right, guys, so here is our kettlebell workout. You're gonna need just one kettlebell for this one. And as far as the weight that you grab, you're gonna wanna grab whatever you would typically do for your kettlebell linear progressions that we've done in here, because we're doing something very similar to that. So we got a 10-minute EMOM and a 15-minute AMRAP today for a total of 25 minutes of work. Make sure you get your general warm-up in before that. You should be able to finish this in 45 minutes or less pretty easy. So, the first one, every minute on the minute for 10 minutes. 10 to 14 kettlebell clean and jerks. And remember, you're doing 10 to 14 on one arm and then rest. At the top of the next minute, 10 to 14 on the other arm. And again, I have this rep range right here of 10 to 14 so that it gives you a little bit of freedom to pick the weight, especially if the exact weight that you want isn't here. If you need to go a little lighter, you can do 14 reps. If you end up going a little heavier, then you can bring that down to 10 reps and keep the volume a little bit smaller. So let's go over that kettlebell clean and jerk. I'll have Diane come in here. When we're doing our clean and jerks, remember, you're grabbing towards the thumb side of the handle on the backswing. Thumb is back. As you swing the kettlebell out, thumb comes up, and you're going to catch it in this good front rack position. So I'm going to turn around. So your front rack position here, remember, thumb right about the collarbone, and when we're going up overhead, when we catch this here, we want to make sure we have good contact from your with your upper arm into your rib cage and your chest, so that as you dip and drive, you can bump your ribs into your arm and give you a little bit of extra push up overhead. So from here, she's going to drive or dip and drive that weight up overhead, getting a good lockout. Her other arm is off to the side for a little bit of balance. And then from the top, you can either lower it back down into that front rack, or you can swing it from the top all the way into that next rep. All right? So you notice right here, she's catching it standing tall, dipping, and then going overhead, or you can catch it in your dip. It's a little bit faster, catching it in your dip, and then drive it straight up overhead. All right? So what I want you guys to work on while you can, when there's nobody else around, nobody's watching, is really working on that contact point from your ribs and your arm, so that you can learn to utilize that bump going up overhead. All right? So that's it for the EMOM. Our AMRAP is pretty straightforward. I think a lot of you guys know how to do this pretty well. It starts with 20 hollow rocks. So for your hollow rocks, as always, looking for that good position, low back press into the ground, shoulders up, and she's just rocking back and forth. Usually when we're doing these hollow rocks, the smaller you can rock, the more challenging it's going to be, so you want those smaller rocks. If you need to scale that, I would just have you scale by pulling your knee in, pulling an arm down. You can rock if you want to, or if you want to just do a hollow hold, just do a 30-second hollow hold for that. All right? The next piece is 20 alternating goblet reverse lunges. So you're just going to grab your kettlebell, hold in your goblet position, and just step back, tap one knee to the ground, switch legs. That's 2. So you're doing 10 each side. Now stop right here. Remember, when you're in this position, foot needs to be flat on the ground. Your knee should be about mid-foot up towards your toe. Your back knee needs to touch the ground, and you need to make sure you're not leaning forward too far. When you stand up, think about using your butt and your quad to stand yourself up. So she's coming forward as she's standing back up. What I see oftentimes when people are doing lunges is the knee will shoot back as you go to stand up. So go ahead and stand. And what happens there is you end up using your hamstrings a little bit more. So make sure you keep your knee forward over your toe as you go to stand. The next thing, goblet squats. You guys know how to do those. Just make sure, again, we're doing a lot of squatting these days, so you need to do it right. You need to be able to check off all the boxes of good technique. The depth, the feet flat on the ground, the knees going out, your back staying nice and straight, bracing to your core, all of that stuff. All right? And then finally, after those 10 goblet squats, we have 10 lateral burpees over your kettlebell. So when you're doing these, start with your feet right next to the kettlebell. Okay, she's going to jump back into a burpee, and then when she jumps her feet back forward, you want to jump them so they're right next to the kettlebell. That way you don't have to take any steps to get back up where you need to be in order to jump. So she's going to jump laterally over the kettlebell, do her burpee, feet close to the kettlebell, jump back over. So 10 of those. All right, so this is a 15-minute AMRAP, which means you're not going to want to go as fast as you possibly can in the very beginning. You're going to want to just kind of do your best to keep moving for the first 5 to 7 minutes. You can check in with yourself at that point. If you feel like you can go faster, you can increase your speed a little bit. If you're feeling good, or like you might fall off, then you just want to stay at the same pace and try to maintain for the rest of those 15 minutes. So make sure when you're done, you go into WOD Hopper and click the I did it button. I look forward to